When I began this video series, I had one simple question. How did our grandparents manage money so well, without banks, without degrees, without financial apps? They didn't have MBAs. But they knew how to save. They knew how to trade. They knew how to live wisely, simply, and sustainably. As I listened to old Vietnamese proverbs, I realized they carried a financial philosophy hidden in folk wisdom. No technical terms, no spreadsheets, just practical truth, passed through generations. Together, we've explored 13 timeless sayings, each one a blueprint for living and thriving. Blank. Underscore, blank. 1. No trade, no wealth. Right finger, you can't get rich just by working a job. You must learn to create and exchange value. 2. Trade with partners. Sell with a network. Right finger, in business, you need community. Collaboration brings scale. Don't go solo. 3. Busy at the market's start. Broke at its end. Right finger, sales don't equal profit. Know your costs. Track your margins. 4. Cash first, soup later. Right finger, be clear. Be fair. No unclear deals. That's how trust begins. 5. Cleverness is no match for honesty. Right finger, skill is good, but truth builds reputation that lasts. 6. A bite when hungry is worth more than a feast when full. Right finger, help at the right moment creates lifelong loyalty. 7. Durability lies in the user. Right finger, take care of what you have, tools, money, relationships. 8. Big deals mean nothing if you overspend. Right finger, wealth comes from saving, not earning. 9. Money enters like a dog into a basket, hard, but leaves like wind through a window, fast. Right finger, be mindful of small daily expenses, they add up. 10. You can't please everyone. Right finger, don't bend to every opinion. Serve your tribe with clarity. 11. Small savings make big fortunes. Right finger, consistency beats intensity. Daily habits change your life. 12. Borrow and repay, so hearts stay at peace. Right finger, keep your word. Gratitude isn't optional, it's everything. Blank. Underscore, blank. And now, as we look back on these 13 principles, we see something powerful. Vietnamese people aren't just survivors. We're strategic. We're wise. We've always been. Have you ever wondered why so many rural folks, those who never studied finance, never read a self-help book, don't even know what ROI, or cash flow, means, can still live well, raise their kids properly, and even stash gold in a tin box under the bed? It sounds like a paradox. While many of us are chasing personal finance courses, flipping through money books, binge-watching financial gurus online, there's a little grandma at the morning market selling betel leaves, quietly thriving, debt-free, and saving quietly on the side. She doesn't call it a financial strategy, but what she's doing is financial wisdom in its rawest, most instinctive form. And guess where she learned it from? From simple proverbs and folk sayings. Sayings like, make little profit, sell more, trade with friends, sell in groups, cash first, soup after. They sound like jokes, but they're not. They are timeless principles, survival philosophies, that guided generations through tough times. From village markets to street stalls, these sayings became the unwritten rules of finance. Our ancestors had no books, but they had a native financial school. No spreadsheets, no mentors, but it worked. They lived with margin. They thrived without debt. They left something behind. In this video, we'll dive into a special journey, unpacking 10 powerful money mindsets from Vietnamese folk wisdom. 10 simple phrases that might just change how you think about money and what it really means to be wealthy. Ready to begin? Have you ever wondered why? For generations, Vietnamese people have believed that if you want to rise in life, you need to do business? It's summed up in an old proverb, Phai Thuong Bat Phu, without trade, there's no wealth. Sounds simple, right? But inside that line is a deep truth. A paycheck gives you survival, but business gives you growth. You can work hard, clock in 8 hours a day, but you're always exchanging time for money. And time is limited. Business, on the other hand, even when small, allows you to scale your income, multiply your time, and most importantly, own your freedom. Take the story of Ba Hao, a humble betel leaf seller. She started with nothing but a tray of betel nuts. Rain or shine, she showed up. People laughed. How much can she make? But slowly, Steadily, she reinvested every sale. 3 years later, she opened a small wedding supply store. 10 years later, she was lending money to others, owned a house, and had a red title deed in her name. Why? Because she understood. A job pays you for today, but trading helps you plan for tomorrow. Today, trading doesn't just mean selling products. You can sell skills like teaching makeup. Sell your time by driving Uber. Sell your experience by making content or teaching online. And maybe, just maybe, watching this video is your first step into trading. Sharing knowledge, building trust, that's value. That's your business too. Of course, not every business succeeds, but look around. Most successful people have traded something. Because only when you sell, do you learn how money flows and how to own your life. Not just survive it. That's why our ancestors said, no trading, no wealth. It wasn't just advice. It was a way of life. There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. In business, this isn't just poetic, it's reality. Vietnamese folk wisdom captured this beautifully in one short phrase. Buon co ban, ban co phuong, trade with friends. Sell in groups. At its core, this saying reminds us, business is not about products. It's about people. You can have the best product, a great idea, a brilliant brand, but if you try to do it all alone, chances are, you'll burn out before you break through. Look around today. An online seller thrives faster with a support group to share tools and traffic. A small restaurant survives longer if it's part of a neighborhood block, with coffee shops, food stalls, and local vendors all attracting foot traffic together. Nobody builds wealth in isolation, and the ones who try often don't last. Our ancestors understood this long before networking became a buzzword. That's why they formed trading guilds, known as Phuong Buon. These were local groups of sellers who shared resources, supported each other in slow seasons, and protected one another from risk. There's a powerful story from Ninh Exa village in northern Vietnam. The village was famous for its rice noodles. But each family did their own thing. Prices varied. Quality was inconsistent. Customers were confused and left. Until one man, Cu Ba, suggested a change. He proposed, let's use the same recipe. Sell during the same hours. Set one price. And if someone struggles, we help. People were hesitant. But then a long rainy season hit. No customers. Products spoiled. But thanks to this group effort, they all survived. They shared customers, helped each other carry goods, and built a community brand that still exists today. Bun Ninh Exa. That's the spirit of Ban Co Phuong, selling with a village behind you. And it's more relevant today than ever. Think about every successful company. Amazon, Apple, even small Vietnamese nail salons in the US, they don't work alone. They have ecosystems, suppliers, communities, loyal customers, mentors. Nobody wins alone. You can build your own Phuong, even if you're just starting out. Maybe it's a group of peers, an online support circle, a network of happy customers who refer others, or just a friend who listens when business is slow. No one stays strong forever, but a committed team can go incredibly far. I once saw a Vietnamese nail salon in Dallas survive the pandemic. Not because they were the best, but because they banded together. They pooled rent, shared clients, rotated shifts. When it was time to reopen, they were ready. No one was left behind. So if you're starting your business, ask yourself, not just what am I doing, but who am I doing it with? If you're thriving, pull others up with you. And if you're struggling, find your tribe, your Phuong. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to connect. The world isn't short on talent. It's short on people willing to go together. Buon Co Ban, Ban Co Phuong. It's not just a trading trick. It's a philosophy. True wealth is never built in isolation, it's built in community. United States English, approximately 900 words. There's an old Vietnamese saying that goes, make little profit, sell a lot. To many modern entrepreneurs, that sounds backwards. Aren't we supposed to aim for big margins? High ticket sales? One big deal to make your month? Not necessarily. Because here's a truth that seasoned business owners know. A small but steady profit can be more powerful than a big one-time win. In other words, cash flow is king. You can make a lot of money today, but if your income isn't consistent, your business can't grow. And more importantly, your customers won't stay. That's why our ancestors taught. Better to earn less and have loyal buyers than to scare them away with big prices. Let me tell you a true story. In central Vietnam, there was a woman known as Ba Tu Bun. She sold rice noodle soup at the local market. Unlike others who overcharged tourists or haggled endlessly, she had one rule: fixed prices. Fair value. Her small bowls earned her just $1 of profit. But she sold out every single day. People came back not just for the food, but for the trust. From one tiny cart, she opened 3 noodle shops. Each of her children ran one. No one became a millionaire, but they all lived well. No debt, no stress, no customer lost. That's what it means to play the long game in business. Today, we're flooded with flashy promises. High-ticket offers, big-ticket sales, make $10,000 in one weekend. But if you ask business owners who've survived for decades, they'll say, small, honest, consistent profits equals peace of mind. When you chase big profits, you risk losing your base. But when you price reasonably, offer value, and build relationships, customers return. And returning customers? That's your goldmine. Why do companies like Amazon dominate? Not because they charge high, but because they sell fast, often, and keep customers coming back. Even look at Vietnamese nail salons in the US. They don't charge outrageous prices, but they have faithful regulars. And one loyal client can bring in thousands per year, while one bad experience could push away 10 more. Small profit, steady volume, isn't about being cheap. It's about being strategic. It's about understanding that wealth isn't built in one sale, but in thousands of small ones. Over time, just like smart investors don't look for jackpots, they go for compound interest. A little gain, reinvested over time, grows exponentially. Our ancestors didn't use fancy terms like retention rates or unit economics. But they knew the rice barrel fills up one scoop at a time. More than just a business tactic. This mindset teaches humility, patience, and care. It reminds us, business isn't a hustle, it's a human relationship. You can overcharge someone once and never see them again. Or you can treat them right and earn their trust for life. So ask yourself, right finger, are you trying to get rich from one sale, or build a life through many? Right finger, do you want to be remembered as honest and fair, or expensive and forgettable? In a world of loud marketing and fast deals, people will forget what you sold, but they'll remember how you sold it. Small profit, sell more, isn't for the impatient. It's for those who want to build a career, not just chase a paycheck. Have you ever seen a busy restaurant, full of customers, and yet, just months later, it closes down? That's a common mystery in business. And Vietnamese ancestors summed it up perfectly in a saying: busy at the start of the market, but losing at the end. Or in Vietnamese, Buon do cho, lo kuoi cho. It means, you may be selling a lot, have long lines, and high traffic, but at the end of the day, when you count your money, you're still losing. This isn't just a warning, it's a deep lesson in financial awareness. Right finger, being busy doesn't mean you're making profit. Right finger, high sales don't equal healthy cash flow. In today's hustle culture, everyone wants to look busy. Full inboxes, non-stop orders, constant messages. But if you don't understand your real numbers, your costs, margins, and overheads, then the more you sell, the more you bleed. Because here's the truth, you don't live on revenue. You live on profit. Take the true story of Mao, a Vietnamese man selling banh mi in Giang Vo market. He priced his sandwiches at just 5.000 D, 30% cheaper than competitors. Customers lined up around the block. Some even offered to invest in a chain. But within 3 months, he shut it all down. Why? Because each sandwich barely made 1.000 D in profit. And customers kept asking for more toppings, extra sauce, and sometimes even wasted food. Add in rent, gas, trash fees, staff, and spoilage, and he was losing money every single day. That's the danger of Buon do cho, lo kuoi cho. This isn't unique to street food vendors. In the digital age, it happens everywhere. Many online sellers run viral ads, hit huge sales, but behind the scenes, they're drowning in shipping costs, customer returns, discount abuse, platform fees, and unaccounted labor. They're exhausted, broke, and confused. Why am I so busy and still broke? Here's why. Right finger, they don't track costs. Right finger, they confuse sales with success. Our ancestors didn't have Excel sheets or QuickBooks, but they knew every number by heart. A market vendor might not read a balance sheet, but she knows. Each bowl of noodles costs this much. The water bill is that much. My net margin is X. And yet, today, many young business owners don't know if a product is even profitable after promotions, packaging, returns, and logistics. That's the danger of performing instead of profiting. You don't need to look busy. You need to be profitable. Busy doesn't mean bankable. That's the message of Buon Do Cho, Lo Kuoi Cho. This mindset teaches us. Pushpin, don't just look at sales volume. Look at actual gains. Pushpin, don't be fooled by packed orders. Focus on your margins. Pushpin, don't run a flashy business. Run a sustainable one. A store full of people is great, but if you don't manage your numbers, you'll burn inventory, burn cash, and burn out. So whether you sell banh mi or beauty products, services or courses, ask yourself, right finger, have I priced this properly? Right finger, have I calculated every hidden cost? Right finger, do I really make a profit after all expenses? Because running a business is not just about doing, it's about measuring. You can't grow what you don't understand. In the end, profit isn't made when you collect money. It's made when you calculate carefully. So next time your business is booming, take a pause and ask, right finger, am I truly earning, or just working harder to lose more? Right finger, am I measuring success by sales, or by what I keep? Selling is an art, but keeping money after the sale, that's the true skill. There's a Vietnamese saying that sounds like a joke, but carries powerful truth. Cash first, soup after. In Vietnamese, Tien Trao, Chow Muc. At first glance, it sounds like something you'd hear in a street food stall. But in reality, it's a foundational principle of business. Clear, honest, straightforward. Because no matter how delicious your food, how good your product, how skilled your service, if your transactions aren't clear, you'll lose trust faster than you gain customers. Our ancestors didn't have contracts or accounting apps, but they hated fuzzy money matters. They knew, right finger, nothing ruins a relationship faster than money. Right finger, nothing destroys trust quicker than confusion. Take the story of Mr. Lan, a humble soup seller in Dong Xuan Market. He didn't have a fancy stall, just a pot of steamy soup, a few plastic chairs. But everyone paid before they ate. Not because he was harsh, but because he was clear. I serve soup immediately, but payment must come first. I sell soup, not credit. I sell pork heart, not heartbreak. Once, a young man forgot his wallet. Mr. Lan didn't scold him. He simply handed the boy a broom. Wash 5 bowls. And we're even. No guilt, no drama, just fairness. And that's why people kept coming back. No stress, no shouting over bills, no misunderstandings. Clarity created peace. In business, uncertainty breeds conflict. Right finger, giving credit opens the door to tension. Right finger, verbal promises fade. Right finger, vague deals destroy relationships. Today, in the modern world, cash before soup becomes clear payment terms, transparent pricing, no wishy-washy commitments, and firm boundaries, even with friends. Too often, new business owners soften the rules. Let him pay later. He's a friend. Don't worry about the invoice. She's family. But then, later becomes never. Friendship becomes tension, and your business becomes a mess. The truth is, right finger fairness builds long-term relationships. Right finger clarity earns trust. Money is emotional. People hate being reminded they owe you. And you shouldn't have to become a debt collector in your own business. Cash before soup keeps relationships clean. No awkward follow-ups. No confusion. Just mutual respect. And this mindset applies far beyond soup stalls. It applies to nail salons, freelancers and consultants, real estate deals, product sellers and service providers. Fair business is good business. Your clients may not come to you because you're the cheapest, but they'll stay because you're honest. Your partners may not choose you for your skills, but they'll trust you because you keep your word. Your team may not work with you forever, but they'll respect you because you're fair. The so-called reputation in business isn't just about your brand. It starts with tiny, everyday actions. Pushpin, stick to your price. Pushpin, don't overpromise delivery time. Pushpin pay your employees on time. Pushpin don't delay refunds or shift blame. Our ancestors didn't need business school to know. Right finger trust grows where there is clarity. Right finger when trust exists. You don't need to advertise. If today your business feels chaotic, too many cancellations, angry customers, unpaid invoices, ask yourself, was I clear from the start? Did I communicate with honesty? Cash before soup may sound old-fashioned, but it's not. It's modern wisdom dressed in old words. And it may be exactly what your business needs. In life, everyone wants to be smart, to make sharp moves, read the room, avoid risks, and grab chances. But in Vietnamese culture, there's an old saying that flips the idea upside down. Smartness won't beat sincerity. Or in Vietnamese, Koning Gon Chong Lo That Da. It means, you might outsmart someone today, but you'll only last if you're honest. In business, you might have slick ads, clever sales tactics, and persuasive copywriting, but if what you say doesn't match what you deliver, you'll lose trust. And once trust is gone, it's hard to recover. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Luong, a humble tea seller in northern Vietnam. While others were spraying artificial fragrance, adding coloring, and using machines, he kept things real. He picked young leaves, sun-dried them gently, and never used chemicals. Many first-time customers said, "Why is your tea so plain? It doesn't smell strong like others." He'd smile and say, "Real tea is like that. Not flashy at first, but it lingers. You'll remember it." And over time, they did. Even picky drinkers from Hanoi made long trips just to buy a few ounces of his tea. Because they trusted his truth. Then one day, a big buyer came, offered him double the price if he added just a bit of coloring to make the tea look nicer. He refused immediately. One batch of profit is not worth losing my honesty. If I lose that, who'll buy from me later? That phrase became a local proverb. If you want to keep your customers, keep your integrity. In the US, I met a Vietnamese HVAC repairman in San Jose. When I asked, "Why are you always fully booked? You don't even advertise," he said, "I do what I say. If I don't know something, I say so. If I can't offer quality parts, I don't charge premium prices." That's it. Simple, real, and powerful. And today, that's gold. Why? Because in an era of overhype, clickbait, and fake reviews, people are exhausted. They're not looking for flashy, they're looking for honest. You may not have the best logo, the biggest ad budget, or the most followers, but if you speak honestly, price fairly, and deliver what you promise, you're already ahead of most businesses. Truth is, right finger one honest act beats 100 ads. Right finger one loyal customer brings 10 more. Right finger one sincere brand outlives dozens of flashy ones. Koning Gon Chong Lo That Da doesn't mean you should be naive. It means having the courage to stay real, even when fake seems easier. You may not grow fast, but you'll grow solid. You'll sleep better, and your customers will remember you, not for being clever, but for being kind and true. Trust, after all, is the most underrated currency in modern business. So whatever you're doing, whether you're selling on Etsy, running a food stall, doing nails, or teaching part-time, ask yourself, Pushpin, am I delivering what I promised? Pushpin, am I pricing honestly? Pushpin, am I doing the right thing, even when no one's watching? If you can say, yes, you're already building a powerful brand. Not with money, but with character. And that's how the old folks taught us. You don't need to be the smartest in the room, just the most sincere. Have you ever hit a moment of real struggle? Gas tank on empty, bill due tomorrow, wallet light, and then, someone offers a small gesture, a meal, a ride, a few kind words, and suddenly, it feels like your whole life just got a second wind. In Vietnamese, there's a proverb for that feeling. A bite when you're hungry is worth more than a feast when you're full. Or in Vietnamese, Mo Meng Ki Doi Bang Mo Goi Ki No. It's not just a lesson in kindness, it's a powerful principle in relationships and business. Why? Because people don't remember who gave them the most. They remember who gave when they needed it most. In business, this mindset becomes social capital. The invisible but priceless network of trust, goodwill, and reputation you build by showing up at the right time. Take the story of Ba Bay, a rice shop owner in rural Vietnam. One year, a major flood hit, Many lost their homes and savings. People came to her shop with empty hands. She didn't give away rice, she wrote down names. And said, "Eat now. Pay later, when you're back on your feet." Some said she was naive. But 2 years later, every family returned. Not only did they pay, they sent friends, relatives, and more customers. From one tiny shop, she opened 3 more, all because she gave a little. At the right time. That's the power of timing and generosity. Today, we call that social capital, trust you accumulate by doing the right thing when others can't repay you yet. It's not about being rich or flashy. It's about being real when it counts. Look around your own life. Has anyone ever lent you money without interest? When you needed it most? Gave you a job when no one else would? Believed in you before you proved anything? If yes, you're walking on the foundation of someone else's timely kindness. Now flip the question. Have you ever been that person for someone else? In business, it could mean giving credit to a customer going through a rough patch, letting a teammate off early to be with family, taking on a student who can't fully pay but works hard, shipping faster, just because you know it'll help. None of these are grand gestures, but they're bites during hunger. Small in size, huge in impact. And here's the key. Right finger, it's not about how much you give. Right finger, it's about when you give it. Because timing beats value. $1,000 gift when someone is rich won't mean as much as a $10 meal when they're starving. Just like in investing, right timing beats right asset. In life, right moment beats right person. So whatever your work, whether you sell, serve, coach, or lead, remember, you're not just trading goods. You're building trust. And that trust is built in moments of crisis, not comfort. So the next time you see someone in need, and you have a chance to help, even a little, take it. Because one small act in the right moment can build a bond that lasts a lifetime. As our ancestors said, right finger. A bite when you're hungry is worth more than a feast when you're full. That one bite might just feed someone's hope and grow your legacy. We live in an age of disposable everything. Fast fashion, next day delivery. If it breaks, throw it out. If it's old, replace it. But our ancestors saw things differently. They had a saying, durability comes from the user. In Vietnamese, Kua Ben Tai Noi. What does it mean? That a product doesn't stay strong just because it was built well. It stays strong because you know how to care for it. A car may not be fancy, but if you change the oil, drive gently, and maintain it, it can last 15 years. Meanwhile, someone with a luxury car who drives recklessly, skips maintenance, and neglects repairs, ends up with a broken vehicle in half the time. So the question is never, is this thing durable? But rather, am I treating it with care? That's the spirit of Kua Ben Tai Noi. There's a story about Mr. Bon, a knife maker in central Vietnam. He forged knives by hand. But more importantly, every time he sold a knife, he gave instructions. Wash after use. Dry it fully. Don't cut bones with it. Don't twist the blade. Some customers thought, that's too much. But those who listened, used his knives for over 10 years, and they stayed sharp like new. Eventually, people came not just for the knife, but for his care, his teaching, and his honesty. They didn't just buy a product. They received knowledge, values, and a relationship. This mindset doesn't just apply to tools. It applies to health, marriage, career, and customer relationships. You may be born healthy, but if you stay up late, eat poorly, and ignore warning signs, health slips away. You may start with a beautiful relationship, but if you neglect it, take it for granted, or stop listening, love fades. You may land a dream job, but if you get lazy, break promises, or don't grow your skills, success slips through your fingers. Kua Ben Tai Noi is really a reminder of long-term responsibility. And in business, it's everything. You may sell a great product, but if you don't teach customers how to use it, if you ignore follow-up care, or fail to offer support, they'll misuse it, be disappointed, and never return. Many business owners think, right finger, once sold, job done. But the truth is, right finger, the real relationship starts after the sale. Customers come back not because you sell the best. They return because you care the most. Let's say someone buys a blender. Seller A just ships the box. Seller B sends a video tutorial, shares smoothie recipes, checks in a week later. How's it working? Guess which seller earns loyalty? And customer loyalty? It's worth 5 to 10x more than a first-time buyer. In a world chasing speed and trends, the person who knows how to care, nurture, and preserve becomes truly wealthy. Because wealth isn't about having a lot. It's about keeping what matters. You don't need to be brilliant to succeed. You just need the discipline to maintain what you already have. As our ancestors said, even the best tool fails in careless hands. But in responsible hands, even old tools still shine. So ask yourself, pushpin, am I caring for what I own? Pushpin, am I nurturing my relationships? Pushpin, am I doing the little things to keep things working, lasting, and growing? Because real durability starts with you. Most people believe, make more money equals be richer. Big deals, busy days, new clients, that's the sign of success. But Vietnamese elders had a different view. They said, running ships and boats isn't as good as eating frugally. Or in Vietnamese, Buon Tao Ban Bi Kong Bang Into Ha Tien. It means, right finger no matter how big your business. If you can't manage your spending, you won't truly get ahead. Right finger, real wealth doesn't come from what you make, it comes from what you keep. It sounds simple, but in today's world, this is one of the hardest lessons to live by. Some people make $5 a month and still feel broke. Others make $2.500 and still send money home. Save consistently and live peacefully. Why the difference? Financial mindset. One lives paycheck to paycheck. The other lives with intention, tracking every dollar, knowing the difference between needs and wants. Let me tell you two real stories. Tong, a woodshop owner in Texas, had a booming year, contracts non-stop. In just 6 months, he made 6 figures. He upgraded his house, bought a new truck, went on vacations, wore luxury clothes. Then, the market slowed. Orders dried up. The shop closed temporarily. Tong had no savings, no emergency fund, no income stream left. In less than a year, he had to sell his home and start over. Contrast that with Ba Sao, a woman selling sticky rice cakes in a Vietnamese market. She made $40 to $50 profit a day. But she tracked every dollar, divided it into 4 envelopes. Living expenses, children's needs, bank savings, emergency stash. No one noticed her. She wasn't flashy. But 10 years later, she had a savings account, 0 debt, a paid-off home, and 2 kids in college. When someone asked her how she did it, she said, "I'm not rich. I just don't spend away my poverty." Brilliant. That's the essence of this mindset. True wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you quietly protect. In America, it's easy to fall into the consumer spiral. Credit cards are everywhere. Buy now, pay later, sounds tempting. Social media pressures us to keep up, new phones, new clothes, perfect nails. But ask yourself, right finger, do those things bring long-term peace? Right finger or just short-term satisfaction followed by financial stress? Our elders taught, right finger, big money isn't bad, but you need long-term thinking. Right finger, it's okay to earn more, just don't spend recklessly. Right finger, discipline is the true path to freedom. Frugality isn't about being cheap or denying joy. It's about setting boundaries so your future self is protected. Simple steps. Cut 1 takeout meal per week. Delete shopping apps for a month. Ask before every purchase, will this help me move forward? Track small expenses, they add up fast. Don't wait to be rich to start saving. Saving is what will eventually make you rich. Buon Tao Ban Bi Kong Bang Into Ha Tien isn't telling you to fear money. It's reminding you that without a plan, money disappears. But with intention, even small income becomes lasting security. So whether you're an employee, a business owner, or a side hustler, the real question isn't, how much do I make? It's, right finger, how much do I keep? Right finger, and does what I keep give me peace? Because wealth doesn't live in your paycheck. It lives in your choices. There's a Vietnamese proverb that's half funny, half painful. Money enters the house like a dog entering a basket, hard. But it leaves through the window like the wind, fast. If you've ever worked hard for your income, only to feel like it disappears the next day, you know exactly how true that is. Because yes, right finger earning money is hard. It takes time, effort, skills, sacrifice, and energy. But spending? All it takes is a click, a swipe, a treat yourself moment. And suddenly, the money's gone. The issue? We're very conscious when we earn, but totally unconscious when we spend. People say, I don't spend that much. But track every coffee, every subscription, every Amazon impulse buy, and suddenly you see. Right finger, it's not big purchases that drain you. It's the little leaks, every single day. This proverb isn't scolding you, it's a wake-up call. If you don't manage spending, you'll always feel like you're running, but not moving. I once met Ba Tam, a Vietnamese grandmother who ran a tiny convenience stall. She kept a little notebook, tracking every sale, every coin, every personal expense. When I asked, why bother writing down such small amounts? She said, my memory isn't great anymore, but I always remember my money. If not, it slips away like the wind. She wasn't rich, but she was never in debt. Her grandkids went to school. Her home was paid off. She had money saved, all because of one habit: knowing exactly what went out and what came in. Contrast that with someone who earns well, but ends every month asking, right finger, where did it all go? Money doesn't scream when it leaves. It slips out, through tips, fees, apps, fun, purchases. And when something happens, a medical bill, job loss, a car issue, we're caught off guard. No savings, no cushion, no peace of mind. True wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. You can earn $2 and save $500, or earn $5 and still live paycheck to paycheck. This mindset reminds us, pushpin, respect the effort it takes to earn. Pushpin, spend with awareness, not emotion. Pushpin, build a simple system to track spending. You don't need fancy tools. Just write down daily expenses. Set spending limits for food, fun, shopping. Ask, do I really need this? Review your spending monthly. What did you regret? In the US, this is crucial because spending is too easy. Swipe a card, one-click buy. The system makes it feel painless, but the pain builds slowly. Credit card debt, no emergency fund, constant stress. Why'd I work so hard and still feel broke? Our elders had no financial apps, but they had wisdom. Right finger, if you can't keep money, it doesn't matter how much you earn. You can work for 10 years, but without tracking spending, you'll still struggle. Someone earning less, but saving wisely, will have more stability, more freedom. Money doesn't speak, but it shows itself in how we treat it. So, right finger, value every dollar you make. Right finger, be mindful with every dollar you spend. Right finger, and remember, money enters slowly like a dog into a basket, but leaves like wind through the window. If you don't protect it, it disappears. And when the wallet is empty, freedom fades. 2. There's a well-known Vietnamese proverb that says, being a bride to 100 in-laws, you'll never please them all. Or simply, you can't satisfy everyone. It sounds like a life lesson, and it is. But it's also a vital principle in business, creativity, and self-worth. Because no matter how hard you try, no matter how kind, careful, skilled, or sincere you are, right finger, someone, somewhere, will still criticize. You serve food. Some say it's perfect. Others say it's too salty. You cut hair. Some love the style. Others want a refund. You post videos. Some say, inspiring. Others comment, cringe. You run a small business. One customer is loyal. Another complains loudly over nothing. If you try to please everyone, you'll burn out and lose yourself. I once met a woman who ran a pho restaurant in Little Saigon. Her broth was northern style, light, clear, no added sugar. Some customers loved it, said it reminded them of home. Others complained it was bland. She was tempted to change. Then she remembered her mom's advice. You're not cooking to please the world. You're preserving tradition. The right people will find you and stay. So she stayed true to her roots. Her broth didn't win over everyone, but it won deep loyalty from the ones who mattered. And that's the heart of this mindset. Right finger, don't serve everyone. Serve your people well. In today's world, where every action is public, and every opinion gets a comment, this truth is more important than ever. The internet wants you to appeal to everyone, be everything, have no enemies, offend no one. But that's not real. You will be misunderstood. You will be criticized. So, what will you do? Change who you are every time someone disagrees? Or stand firm and serve those who truly get you? The truth is, right finger, you'll never be perfect for everyone. Right finger, but you can be irreplaceable to the right few. That's how great brands are built. They're not loved by all. They're deeply trusted by their tribe. Examples. You run a vegan cafe? Some love it. Others say, "Where's the meat?" Ignore them. You teach gently? Some need that. Others want pressure. Not your job. You design old school? Some call it classic. Others say, outdated. So what? You don't need the whole world. You just need the right corner of it. The sooner you accept that, the freer you become. Think of a skilled carpenter. He doesn't change his style for every client. He masters his craft and lets the right clients come to him. Same in business. If you keep changing your product, service, or tone based on every bit of feedback, you'll lose your identity. And without identity, people won't remember you. Because you're just like everyone else. But if you're consistent in values, clear in your offer, and strong in your why, right finger, you'll attract the ones who need you. Right finger and the rest? Let them go. Next time someone criticizes you, ask, pushpin, is this my ideal client? Pushpin, do they understand what I offer? Pushpin, am I truly wrong, or just not their flavor? If you're wrong, fix it. But if it's just mismatch, smile, thank them, and move on. You weren't born to please the crowd. You were born to serve your people, with truth and care. And remember, you can't be the bride of 100 families. But you can build a home with the right few, who love you for who you really are. Ever feel like you're trying your best, saving, learning, building, and still, you're not getting ahead? You look around. People are opening businesses, buying homes, making investments. And you're just saving a few bucks, learning a little English, taking baby steps. And you wonder, is this going anywhere? Our ancestors had a saying for that. Small savings build great fortunes. Or in Vietnamese, Tic Tiu Tan Dai. It means, right finger, big things are built from little things. Right finger, no great result happens overnight, it's always built daily. Slowly, quietly. You might see someone with a big house, a luxury car, or a successful business. But what you don't see is the years they spent. Saving $20 here, learning one new thing there, adjusting, improving, repeating. I once met a Vietnamese uncle in Houston, an HVAC technician. No college degree, not fluent in English, but for 30 years, he did 3 things. Right finger, tracked every dollar spent. Right finger, read one small book a month. Right finger, increased his savings by 10% every year, even before he had extra. He told me, my house is fully paid. My car too. I'm not rich, but I'm never short. I don't move fast. I just move steady. That's the power of compounding small habits. In finance, it's called compound interest. Einstein once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. But compounding isn't just about money. Right finger, it works with knowledge. 10 pages a day equals 3.600 plus pages a year. Right finger, it works with health. 15 minutes of walking daily equals lower blood pressure. More energy. Right finger, it works with trust. One kind reply per day equals a loyal client base in a year. So why don't most people do it? Right finger, because we underestimate small things. Right finger, we want instant results. Right finger, we quit if it feels slow. But look at bamboo. It spends 4 years growing roots, and then shoots up 3 feet in a few weeks. Success is often like that. Invisible at first, exponential later. So if you're saving $5 a day, don't laugh at it. If you're studying 15 minutes, don't quit. If you're building a business with one post, one customer, one product at a time, stay the course. Nothing is small, if done daily. Nothing is slow, if done consistently. Our ancestors didn't have spreadsheets or compound calculators, but they knew. A handful of rice today equals a full meal tomorrow. Selling small goods today equals capital for bigger plans tomorrow. Saving pennies equals choices in hard times. A father in San Jose once told his son, I may not leave you wealth, but I leave you a habit. Go slow. But never stop. That hit me deeply. Because in the end, stability doesn't come from sudden bursts. It comes from steady effort. So if today you feel stuck, if progress seems slow, if you don't feel successful yet, right finger, just ask, am I doing a little, every day? If yes, you're winning. Quietly, surely, deeply. Keep going. Tic Tiu Tan Dai. Tiny steps, big future. There's a Vietnamese saying that goes, if you borrow, you must repay. That's how people stay at peace with each other. In other words, right-fingered trust is built on fairness. Right-finger relationships last when give and take are both respected. At first glance, it sounds like a rule about money. But in truth, it's a deep principle about honor, responsibility, and human dignity. Because when someone lends you something, whether it's money, a place to stay, a job referral, or simply their time, they're not just giving you resources. They're giving you trust. And that trust deserves something in return. Not always in dollars. Sometimes, the best repayment is following through on your word, saying thank you, giving back when you're able. I remember a Vietnamese barber in San Diego who once let a loyal customer skip payment because he forgot his wallet. The man returned the next day, not just with cash, but with a thank you card and a small box of pastries. That small gesture meant the world to the barber. Because the man didn't take kindness for granted. On the flip side, there was another customer who borrowed and vanished. No message, no effort. And just like that, trust, once broken, didn't return. This mindset, if you borrow, you must repay, isn't about being strict. It's about respect. It's how communities survive, especially in the immigrant world. Here in the US, Vietnamese people often rely on one another, lending tools, cars, or spare rooms, helping each other find work, covering for each other in hard times. And if everyone keeps their promises, the community grows strong. If not, trust fades. People stop helping, everyone retreats. So what does repay really mean? Right finger, not always money. Right finger, it means showing up, keeping your word, expressing gratitude, paying it forward. Smart people don't avoid repaying, they go out of their way to do it, even when no one's asking. One nail salon owner in Sacramento told me, some of my best clients are the ones I helped when they were struggling. They always come back and send friends. I didn't ask, but they remembered. Vietnamese culture teaches, gratitude weighs more than money. But gratitude must be shown, not just felt. In business, this mindset is powerful. If you allow delayed payment or offer help, what do you want in return? Right finger, just responsibility. Right finger, just a call, a message, a plan. Right finger, a sign that they value your trust. And when they do that, you'll likely help them again. But if they disappear, stay silent, or pretend it never happened, you don't just lose money. You lose connection. And in business, money can be regained, but lost trust is harder to rebuild. Borrow and repay, so hearts stay at peace. That's how friendships, partnerships, and families stay whole. So today, if you owe someone, repay them, or at least be honest about when you will. If someone helped you, return the kindness, in whatever form you can. It doesn't have to match exactly, but it must show that their trust was not misplaced. And if someone borrowed from you, and never repaid, don't be bitter. Think of it as a way to see someone's true character. Money can return, but integrity, once lost, may never come back. So live by this. If you borrow, repay. If you're helped, remember. And if you give, give with heart. But keep your eyes open. That's how we live long, clean, and trusted lives. Not by talking well, but by keeping our word. When I began this video series, I had one simple question. How did our grandparents manage money so well, without banks, without degrees, without financial apps? They didn't have MBAs. But they knew how to save. They knew how to trade. They knew how to live wisely, simply, and sustainably. As I listened to old Vietnamese proverbs, I realized they carried a financial philosophy hidden in folk wisdom. No technical terms, no spreadsheets, just practical truth, passed through generations. Together, we've explored 13 timeless sayings, each one a blueprint for living and thriving. Blank, underscore, blank. 1. No trade, no wealth. Right finger, you can't get rich just by working a job. You must learn to create and exchange value. 2. Trade with partners, sell with a network. Right finger, in business, you need community. Collaboration brings scale. Don't go solo. 3. Busy at the market's start, broke at its end. Right finger, sales don't equal profit. Know your costs. Track your margins. 4. Cash first, soup later. Right finger, be clear, be fair. No unclear deals. That's how trust begins. 5. Cleverness is no match for honesty. Right finger skill is good, but truth builds reputation that lasts. 6. A bite when hungry is worth more than a feast when full. Right finger help at the right moment creates lifelong loyalty. 7. Durability lies in the user. Right finger take care of what you have: tools, money, relationships. 8. Big deals mean nothing if you overspend. Right finger wealth comes from saving, not earning. 9. Money enters like a dog into a basket, hard, but leaves like wind through a window, fast. Right finger be mindful of small daily expenses, they add up. 10. You can't please everyone. Right finger don't bend to every opinion. Serve your tribe with clarity. 11. Small savings make big fortunes. Right finger consistency beats intensity. Daily habits change your life. 12. Borrow and repay, so hearts stay at peace. Right finger keep your word. Gratitude isn't optional, it's everything. Blank. Underscore, blank. And now, as we look back on these 13 principles, we see something powerful. Vietnamese people aren't just survivors. We're strategic. We're wise. We've always been. Our financial wisdom didn't come from textbooks. It came from rice fields, from marketplaces, from grandmother's voices at dinner. It wasn't taught. It was lived. Blank. Underscore, blank. Pushpin. In today's fast world, we chase what's new. But sometimes, old wisdom is the truest compass. Money evolves. Technology shifts. Markets rise and fall. But principles, real, human principles, don't change. If you're building a life in a foreign land, if you're grinding each day in America to support your family, know this: you carry the wisdom of a people who've endured for 1,000 years. 13 mindsets that built villages, raised families, and held communities together, even in hard times. Blank. Underscore, blank. You don't need to start rich. Right finger, just start conscious. You don't need to be great on day one. Right finger, just be steady every day. Because these 13 proverbs aren't just phrases. They're maps. They guide you toward financial peace, ethical business, and a grounded life. Thank you for joining this journey. If it resonated with you, share it. Let our culture's deep roots continue to grow in new soil. The further we go from home, the more we need to remember where we come from.